Hi parents, Kirk Jones, high school pastor, North Coast Church, giving you the weekend recap for yesterday, August the 5th. Hopefully this doesn't hopefully this doesn't look lazy or like a cop-out, but I had the opportunity to listen to the new series that you are going through right now, Rating Hell, and I just thought it was so relevant. I thought it was so good to what's going on, so we're stealing it for the next 4 weeks. Kind of excited because you will have a real good idea of what we're going through. It's going to look real similar, and hopefully you and your students will have plenty to talk to. So we don't usually do this a whole lot, but we're going to be, I think, 1 week behind you for 4 weeks. And obviously, I'm kind of taking the message and high schoolifying it, making it as relevant to them and what they're going through as I possibly can. But I'm going to give you just a quick breakdown of what we did just yesterday, and it's going to look real similar to what you learned about 8 days ago. We talked about witnessing and why it's so important, obviously, because heaven and hell are a real place, because we were all created to live forever. And the decision that we make on this earth determines where we spend that forever. We talked about how Jesus is the only answer, and I kind of that was kind of what Larry shared about yesterday during communion. And then we talked about how we're commanded to win people, not necessarily arguments. And then we dove right into what that looks like. We used the story of Philip and the eunuch, and how we need to be the work of God before we can do the work of God, and how a lot of times we sit there saying, God, do something cool in my life, and God's saying, I can't move a parked car. And if we want our lives to have an impact on other people, then we need to be walking with the Lord. If we want our lifestyles to influence others, God needs to have touched our lifestyles in some way. We talked about how we need to be looking for opportunities, and we need to be praying for opportunities. And a lot of times we don't do that because we assume that when we pray for an opportunity, that means that we're going to get a plane ticket to a third world country, or we're going to have to go buy a megaphone and head down to San Diego and start preaching, I'm a Christian and this and this and that. But we found out in that story that wasn't the case at all, that Philip was told, hey, go up next to this chariot and then just ask the guy, how you doing? We talked about how we need to start with what they know, with where they are, not with what we know, and how a lot of your students are probably already doing that. They probably know where their friends are in life and what's going on in their lives and spiritually where they are. That's way more important than any sermon discourse that we could give someone. And then we kind of closed with the Romans Road, and basically, several verses throughout that book. You can meet someone at any point along the way. If someone says, well, I don't believe there's a God, you can start here. And if it's, well, I believe there's a God, but I don't know what Jesus Christ did for me, you can start here. And kind of gave them a roadmap to follow. So, I haven't done this since I got here, so hopefully it'll bring up some cool conversations, and you'll have a much clearer idea of what your students are learning about, because it's same series as what you guys are going through. Awesome. See you next week.